much, and yes, your testimony will be entered into the record. Next, we have Mr. Mast. You may proceed.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I appreciate the time. Thank you, everybody, for your testimony. Dr. Peeler, my questions are going to go to you today. I was reading your written testimony as well as listening to you. You spoke about something of particular interest to me, which is what you labeled as harmful algal blooms. I speak to them more so in the terms of toxic algal blooms. I don't know, are you aware that the EPA has put some specific numbers on algal blooms, identifying when they're too toxic for human contact?
I am, yes.
No.
You are. Are you familiar with what those numbers the EPA put out there?
I couldn't, no, I could not provide them right now, but I'm certainly familiar with the new guidance.
Yeah, for microcystin, which is quite often what you get in this blue-green algae, it's 8 parts per billion. They said or 8 micrograms per liter is too toxic for human contact, leading to things from liver failure to death, depending on how much you might ingest for that, and certainly has killed wildlife as well. Do you have any idea of what kind of numbers your area has seen?
I think no, not specifically, but certainly we've had problems with toxin producing species, and I've done some work in Florida on similar species.
Where did you do that work in Florida?
So
Obviously, that's my backyard.
Lake George. Yep, so leading up to Jacksonville.
Sure. There's a lot of folks that do this issue from Louisiana to Ohio, Michigan, Florida, and other places. Not always that the issue is dealt to you by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So in my community, I actually have a situation where every year we can pretty much count on the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers taking algal blooms that you already talked about, the numbers of where they're toxic at about 8 parts per billion, that are measuring somewhere around 400 to 600 parts per billion. So extremely toxic, taking them out of one water body and moving them to an entirely separate community by canals that they dug. How would you feel if that was going on in your community?
I think that's one of those tough situations where we have a solution to a past problem that's creating a new challenge, and we need to rethink the solution.
Can you expand on that a little more? That seemed like a lot of ambiguous terms, not terribly specific.
So I think about our work where we look at things like stormwater drainage systems, which were a remarkable early resilient strategy. And now as water levels high, some of those stormwater drains don't work as they once did. And so they end up being a problem that creates new flooding. So if you have a situation where you're managing water in one way, thinking about like an estuary where originally in the 80s we were looking at phosphorus. If you do a really great job managing phosphorus, you can end up moving your problem farther downstream in an estuary where you have those same algal blooms and they're then limited by nitrogen. So I think it's a case where occasionally solutions create unexpected problems.
I think we're all experienced to that on the Water Resources Subcommittee, to previous solutions creating future problems. Probably one of the most bipartisan issues that we all deal with on this committee. I'd ask you this pointed question. You think the Corps of Engineers has the right to poison communities?
I think that's not I don't know that I think anybody should be poisoning anyone, but I would have to understand the situation a little more specifically.
No doubt all these situations have their different idiosyncrasies, but we should be able to agree at a certain level that nobody has the right to poison us as individuals. And certainly as an overseer of government, that should be a basic premise of good government, that we not allow government to poison communities. Would you agree with that?
Sorry, just having a clicking on. Yes, no.
Doctor, you're muted.
I definitely subscribe to the do no harm philosophy for sure.
Very good. Do you think that the Corps of Engineers should be allowed to exempt themselves from different provisions of the Clean Water Act?
Again, I would need more context. I do think that there are reasons for all sorts of decisions, and I wouldn't want to say specifically.
Very good. I appreciate your answering my questions today. I just have one quick question, Madam Chairwoman, if you need the answer to this, as we're speaking about WRDA, is the Clean Water Act and Waters of the U.S. planning to be opened up in WRDA 2022?
That I would have to defer to staff to see where they're at with that.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your time.